Welcome to Dr. Pam Unleashed, where we skip the gimmicks and get real about what helps pets actually thrive. I'm Dr. Pam, functional medicine vet, symptom decoder, and your guide to a vibrant, no BS pet care. Let's get into it. Welcome to Bloodwork Secrets, the truth about your pet's labs. Your vet says the labs are normal. Your dog says otherwise. Let's find out why. Welcome back to Dr. Pam Unleashed. This episode is part of my mini-series, Bloodwork Secrets, the truth about your pet's labs. I'm Dr. Pam, veterinarian, functional medicine nerd, and your partner in truly proactive pet care. When the labs come back normal, but your dog still isn't thriving, that's where this series steps in. This episode is called Running on Empty. We're going behind the numbers to find the whispers, the subtle signs that get missed in conventional medicine, but can change the whole story of your pet's health. Today, I want to show you 3 of the most overlooked and most important whispers I see in functional blood work. Think of them like the check engine lights that conventional medicine tends to ignore. Number 1, the kidney creep. Number 2, the stress switch. Number 3, the smoke signal. Each one is a missed opportunity in traditional care, and each one is a chance to add more healthy years of tail wags, zoomies, and soft landings on the couch. Number 1, the kidney creep. So let's start with the kidney creep because the kidneys whisper the loudest and longest before anyone actually pays attention. And if we listen early, we can change everything. Here's what I want you to know about the kidneys. They are the battery of the body, and they are overachievers. They keep compensating quietly without a fuss until they're 60 to 70% damaged. And by the time traditional labs raise a red flag, it's often too late. Unlike the liver, the kidneys do not regenerate. So when you lose function, you lose it for good. In veterinary medicine, we are taught to look at BUN, creatinine, and SDMA to assess the kidney function. But even those can look fine in early decline. The first clue, urine concentration. The first shot across the bow in kidney dysfunction is always in the urine concentration. But only if you're tracking the trend, not just a one-time dip. Because a dog who drinks a ton of water one night may naturally have a more diluted urine the next morning. What matters is persistence. If the concentration stays low again and again, that's a whisper you don't want to miss. Let me tell you about Charlie, a doodle I treated a few years ago. He came in for what his mom thought was a simple musculoskeletal issue, stiffness, trouble rising, just slowing down. But certain traditional Chinese medicine indicators made me reach for the labs to check his kidney function. His chemistries looked good, but his urinalysis told a different story. The specific gravity, that's how concentrated the urine is, was slightly off, so we rechecked it. Then again, what we saw was a pattern. He was entering the gray zone, not quite kidney failure, but not optimal either. We shifted his diet, treated him with acupuncture, added renal supportive herbs and nutrients, and made changes that gave him years of tail wags, happy hikes, and cozy nights with his people. That's the power of functional blood work. You catch dysfunction early and act before the damage sets in. Then give that pet a longer, healthier life. Here's what I want to emphasize. Conventional blood work often waits for something to be broken before it raises a flag. But functional blood work is different. It's about noticing the shift, not waiting for the crash. Think about it. How many times have we wished we could have done something sooner? This is that sooner. Fasting your dog overnight, drawing blood first thing in the morning, and bringing in a first morning urine sample might sound inconvenient, but it's the difference between reading a guess and reading the real story. I always tell my clients, if you're going to take the time to run labs, do it right. What to watch for? Number 1, if your vet is running blood work, bring a first morning urine sample with you. Not ask them to collect one, just bring it. Put it in an old glass jar on ice to keep it fresh. That way, it can be processed right alongside the blood work, and you'll get a full, accurate picture. No urinalysis, no kidney clarity, period. Number 2, the stress switch. Let's zoom out, because once the kidneys start whispering, they're usually not whispering alone. One of the first systems to get pulled into the storm is the adrenal glands, the tiny glands that sit on top of the kidneys and carry a whole lot of responsibility. But unless you're trained to see the signs and you run blood work under the right conditions, adrenal dysfunction can stay invisible. So let's talk about what I call the stress switch, aka hidden adrenal dysfunction. What if your dog's stress system was slowly tipping into imbalance and no one noticed? The adrenal glands are the overworked, underappreciated players in the body. They manage stress response, regulate blood sugar, impact the kidney and thyroid function, and even control fat storage. In vet school, we're taught only to spot adrenal disease in the extremes, Addison's disease and Cushing's disease. But that's only 10% of real adrenal cases. There's a whole middle zone of dysfunction that often gets missed. That's 90% of cases, and that's where most pets live. Let me tell you about Benny. Benny came to me jittery, anxious, and prone to skipping breakfast. His mom thought it was a behavioral issue, but when I pulled his previous vet's lab history, I noticed something bigger in his trend. Platelets were trending upward, fasting glucose was creeping towards high normal, and thyroid function was declining a bit. Physically, he had fat pads on the sides of his body and a distinct shift in behavior, more nervous, more reactive. Each marker on its own is easy to miss, but together they told a clear story. This pup had adrenal strain. We supported his adrenals, improved his diet, and changed the trajectory of his health, long before diabetes or thyroid dysfunction took hold. Let me pause here for a second. Have you noticed that every case starts with diet? There's a reason for that, so pay attention. This is where most pets slip through the cracks, because adrenal strain is not dramatic until it is. When you catch it early, you can shift everything back into the normal range. The behavior, the labs, even the future diagnoses that don't have to happen, like Addison's disease and Cushing's disease. You just have to know when the body's whispering and create the right conditions to hear it and resolve it. What to watch for? Keep an eye on your dog's fasting glucose. Hear me, fasting glucose. If it's trending above 95 in most labs, especially alongside platelet shifts, thyroid changes, or increased anxiety, adrenal dysfunction could be quietly brewing. And just like with the kidneys, fasting and timing matter. If you want accurate adrenal clues, labs must be taken first thing in the morning after an overnight fast with access to water. Number 3, finally, let's talk about the smoke signal. The most misunderstood whisper of them all, cholesterol. Too many people assume it only matters when cholesterol is sky high or when their vet flags it. But cholesterol is more than a number. It's Goldilocks. It needs to be just right in the functional zone. Otherwise, it's a smoke signal, a sign the body is working hard to patch something deeper. Cholesterol isn't the villain it's made out to be in the press. It's essential for hormone production, brain function, repairing inflammation in tissues, among many other things. So why does it show up when things go wrong? Because just like a fire truck at a burning house, cholesterol is rushing in to help. It's not the arsonist, it's the patch. But if we only focus on the patch, we ignore what caused the damage in the first place. Case in point, cholesterol gets blamed for heart disease. It creates plaques in the arteries, right? Everybody knows that. But do you know why it creates plaques? In heart disease, the walls of blood vessels grow weak and start to form cracks. Cholesterol acts like a Band-Aid over the weakened areas. It's the body's response to prevent a full-on aneurysm. So yes, cholesterol plaques do create problems with blood flow, but it's a response to try to stabilize the area. Let me tell you about Bullet. He's a handsome dachshund cross with an awesome mom who came in regularly for acupuncture and seasonal labs. Over time, I noticed his cholesterol inching up. Still inside the normal range, but climbing, persisting. We adjusted the diet and herbs, but it wasn't enough. Then his liver enzymes started that creep as well. So we ordered an abdominal ultrasound, and there it was, a liver tumor. Turns out it wasn't cancer, it was a benign liver adenoma, but it wasn't harmless either. It took up space and annoyed the liver and threatened to burst. Even after surgery, Bullet developed more adenomas in other liver lobes, and his cholesterol had been whispering the entire time. Most vets wouldn't have caught it, but because we were listening, we gave him 3 extra years with his family. Cholesterol is like the fireman who shows up at the scene, not the arsonist who started the blaze. It's an indicator. The key isn't noting that he showed up, but asking, why did he show up? When you follow the smoke signal, you often find early inflammation, liver changes, thyroid imbalance, and other things that would have otherwise stay hidden. And catching those changes early, that's what buys you more years together. What to watch for. If your dog's cholesterol is trending up, even if it's technically normal, ask, what's driving it? Is there inflammation, liver stress, thyroid dysfunction? There's always a story behind it. And again, fasting matters. A proper cholesterol reading only works if your dog hasn't eaten. No breakfast, no snacks, no midnight fridge raids, but with full access to water, because high circulating fats can affect the interpretation. So there you have it, our 3 check engine lights: the kidney creep, the stress switch, and the smoke signal. 3 whispers that can mean the difference between early intervention and late-stage disease. These markers aren't window dressing. They aren't extra. They are essential. They're foundational, because normal isn't the goal. Thriving is. Do you want to be your dog's best advocate? Download my free guide now. Turn your pet's labs into a health roadmap. Inside, you'll find practical steps to keep every lab appointment meaningful without getting lost in the weeds. It also includes how to reach out to our office, because working with us isn't just a lab review, it's a full circle whole pet strategy. In our next episode of Bloodwork Secrets, the truth about your pet's labs, I'm going to reveal one of the most important markers that doesn't even show up on your standard lab panel: vitamin D. And here's the kicker: it doesn't work without its partner, magnesium. I'll show you how they work together, why they're vital for most every system in your dog's body, and what I look for when I test and supplement. Thanks a lot for listening. I'm Dr. Pam, and this is Dr. Pam Unleashed.